I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
He is terrible!
We gotta know how many wieners are going down these big strokes.
I'm gonna go quick because I don't give a fuck about anything that's gonna happen on Saturday.
Hello, boys! We are in the dog days of summer. We are in the dog days of the UFC. We got Trump boys going to fights. We got Usman getting cuts. We got welterweights who don't know who they're fighting. It's chaos. It's fun. It's MMA. It doesn't change. Wes, new Sean, no Brad tonight. We got three amigos. What's happening? I'll start with the Sodsman because that's what we do. What's up?
Oh, just over watching some fights, man. PFL going on tonight.
When are you not? You are a resident expert.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, I'm enjoying PFL, man. I still like what they're doing over. It's pretty good Thursday nights. I mean, what else you got going on in the middle of summer? And I'm over watching my Browns in a little preseason, man. And I'm just trying not to, I feel it's just all gonna come crashing down eventually. So I'm trying not to get too high, but man, I think they got a pretty good team, dude. I think they got a pretty good team. It's a quarterback league, and I'm sold on Baker.
We know you are. New Sean. Speaking of teams that haven't won a Super Bowl, there's a stat out there tonight. The good old Detroit Lions. I assume they're Canada's, adopted team because it's so close. Yeah. Guess how many passing yards the Lions have in the first half? It's halftime against the Patriots in preseason tonight. Guess how many passing yards I got?
I would assume that Stafford's
3
did play, right?
I'm sorry, what was that guess?
3.
3 passing yards? Take
7.
the under. Take the under.
Under?
Jesus Christ. I read something that the Pats are smashing them, but holy fuck, I didn't think it was that bad.
Jesus.
All right, you're going to continue guessing or no?
Is it 1?
All right, look, I will say
Take
Brad
the under.
hasn't.
0.
Take the under.
They have minus yards.
-2 passing yards. They are down 20-0 at the half. Their total yards is 262 to 28. The passing yards are 193 to -2. It is 20-0 at the half.
Look, you gotta factor this in though. It's not the regular season yet, and Brad hasn't blessed the parking lot with a good ass eating this season yet. So
yeah.
So this Brad
There's
eats
a
his first
possibility,
ass.
Wes, that I might be doing a tailgate with Bill's Mafia in about a month or so.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Get your table ready.
Oh, better get my freaking fire ready.
Who is this? Who is this kid on? Oh my God, he just put him to sleep. Who is this kid on the internet I think he's kind of slow. Maybe he got a little mental problem, but the dude jumps through like tables of glass and shit. And
I don't know anything about those.
You haven't seen this?
No, I've seen it in real life. I never seen it on the internet.
Now there's some kid, man, that I don't know. He seems pretty popular. It pops up on my timeline from time to time, but some kid, man, that just jumps through light bulbs and fluorescent light bulbs and shit like that. Y'all ain't seen that?
No.
There's some internet famous, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it
seems
seems
like
like
a weekend.
Seems like a high level humanoid.
If you go to a Bills tailgate and don't come off a fucking Ford F-150 Stone Cold style with 2 beers in your hand, like I'll be disappointed, Jay.
It seems like something I might do.
Yeah. First night I hang out with Jay up in New Jersey, and we're at a Red Bulls fucking game, and we're probably 10 beers deep. Jay's on top of the seats, bro. Like yeah. I know your MO at sporting events when you're about 10 beers deep, dog.
Yeah, I get after it. Did I almost get kicked? Did I almost get kicked out of a weigh-in?
No, we were all good.
I thought I was pretty rowdy that day, but I could be wrong.
We had a pretty good time. It was a good night.
The one in Nashville I'm talking about.
Nashville. I
don't
can't remember that one, so we were definitely.
That's not a surprise.
The buy orders did not come through again on the weekend. Surprise.
Yeah.
The buy orders almost mushed a fucking minus 600 on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm this motherfucker, man. Like I play a guy like Tuesday and like, man, got a good line and everything, beat the line by fucking like 50, 60 cents. I'm like, man, I like his play, and then it's over. You turn on, you see it the next day, and fucking Chiclet Mouth just mushes everything you ever do. Like you should.
Even when he's supposed to win.
Yeah, he almost literally mushed that fade plant fucking the baby Burns. This guy's bad, man.
Why does he suck so much at betting?
He's always sucked though. That's the thing. Like people just now are saying this dude's like sucked for years. He's been a fraud.
Chases lines. He chases lines like another Twitter person we know.
Yeah, I mean, I read some shit yesterday about how he scammed a bunch of people out of money a few years ago, like $250,000, saying his tire got flat or something, and it's got stolen out of his car when he went in to get a new tire or something.
Jeez.
Like he's a legit like scam artist.
Scumbag.
Yeah, the UFC and Dana White putting this motherfucker on is just, I don't know. I don't get it. There's got to be like a trove of people that have like dick pics of Dana something, and it's like 2 inches hard, and I don't know, man.
It can't be much bigger.
Nah, probably Covington size. Carrying around a gold belt everywhere you go and shit like that.
I'm not willing to guess. Speaking of Newark, there was a 12-fight card there.
In the afternoon.
Wes, there's a possibility we saw the worst fighter and maybe a bottom 3 fighter in the history of the UFC. Maybe not bottom 3, bottom 5 fighter in the UFC ever on this card.
Ooh, there could be a couple of them.
I've one in my mind in particular.
Talking about Cole?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gotta be Cole Williams, right?
I mean, he's terrible.
I mean, they pulled him out of a fucking grocery store
What,
or
a
something.
construction site?
Yeah, something like that.
They pulled him out of a union. They pulled him out of a union job down by on the 1 and 9 Jersey City. Okay. They said, "Son, do you want to go fight a welterweight?" He's like, "I'm not. I might weigh 176." It's like, okay, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out later.
You're gonna get killed anyway. Who gives a shit?
You can weigh 270. What's the difference? You ain't winning this shit.
Man.
We got to give old boy Claudio Silva a fight. So yeah, so Claudio Silva won. I mean, I think that's enough conversation about that fight.
Yep.
We saw 2 women fight to open the card. Miranda Granger on her debut against Hannah Goldie, who I guess was also on her debut, but came out of the Contender Series. I mean, fairly talented fighters, not a great fight. Granger won 30-27 across the board. It wasn't a 30-27 across the board, but that's fine. Better fighter won. We'll move on. A plus 1250 prop cash, Lauren Murphy by TKO. Who would have thought Lauren Murphy friggin' basically obliterates anyone with a knee?
That was a nasty finish. I gotta give props. Lauren Murphy is terrible, but
you gave a female fighter props.
I mean, the upper echelon, I give props. Everything else is usually trash, but this it was a surprising result. I thought pretty decently high on Barella in this matchup, to the point where if her numbers dropped, I was gonna think about betting her. But Lauren Murphy just did really well in this matchup. Supposedly it was only 1-1 going into third. I thought she could have been up 2-0, and then just finish her in just a nasty knee, and then drops the elbows, and that was a nice finish by Lauren Murphy.
Okay, fair enough. Flyweight, Jordan Espinosa, who I thought was going to do well in this fight. He looked okay to start, but then the second this went to the ground, not very smart. Matt Schnell keeps winning and winning. Got to give credit where credit's due. He's a deserved top 15 flyweight, Wes.
Yeah, I like him, man. I've liked him for years. I've watched him fight for a long time. He didn't do well early on in his UFC.
I mean, they threw him to the wolves in his first fight in the UFC against Rob Font. Who did he fight? He fought Rob Font. I mean, that's a decent fighter.
Yeah, he was like, and he was like really established too, though. Like, just because Snell hadn't gotten to the UFC, Snell was like very well known and highly ranked. Well, not highly, but decently ranked outside of the UFC. So I can kind of get that, but yeah, and then them keeping around 125. Apparently, it's looking like so. Snell back down to 125, man. Yeah, I liked him here. I like him going forward. I still think Espinosa's got a little talent, though. He ran into a bad spot here, but I still like that dude a little bit. He's got some skills as well.
I don't think he's gonna ever meet expectations, personally.
Yeah,
better athlete, but we'll see. We got women's flyweight.
We got a buy order going down.
I don't know what
another one.
You don't fade a Shevchenko's sister on championship fight week, okay? Bad idea. Old girl got a cut. That just made her want to fight more. She tasted her own blood. Then just subbed this girl. I think that was another like plus 1,000 cash on Shevchenko by shove. Good win for her. She ain't bad, right?
As long as the chick can't take her down.
She's not terrible.
The Modafferi taking her down over and over and beating her still really, really bad.
This was just
at what point do we say Modafferi is like okay at fighting?
Just in certain aspects. If she fights a chick that has bad takedown defense, she can do well. It's just, I mean, when girls can stuff her takedown, she's gonna get lit up on the feet, even against okay stand-up fighters.
That's true.
Yeah, her last fight, she literally got the piss and shit beat out of her,
like Jennifer Maia.
Yeah, just like badly. Like Sean said, if she can't like consistently take you down with these, she's fucked. Yeah, Shevchenko on the feet's not bad.
This was just a dumb game plan by Pudilova. Like, why are you trying to fight in the clinch against Shevchenko when she does well in that from her Muay Thai days? And then just spams a takedown because she was getting fucked up on the feet, and Shevchenko capitalized.
She never had a shot. When Gianni put his fucking money down, it was over. Completely fucking over.
There's probably some truth to that.
Yep.
Prelim main event. Mickey Gall won a third round of a fight?
Yikes.
Wow. This was not good for us. We liked Salim Touhari. We thought we were in very good shape. 1-1 heading to the third, and Dum kept going for takedowns instead of taking strikes. Dude, just separate. I was screaming at the TV, separate. Separate.
That's so bad.
That is terrible. We learned a lot about both guys. Both are fade plans.
Yep.
Wait the fade ball again.
What sucks even worse is fucking every mook on Twitter that just is consistently bad fucking was all on Gall, and that made me feel even better. And then it's hard to cap fucking fight IQ, man, but you absolutely have to try the best you can in this shit now, because you can't fucking, what are you supposed to do?
Awesome.
Guy does everything right until, like you said, the third round. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Separate. You know what I'm saying? Mickey Gall is still the biggest fucking fade. I don't care what anybody says. That guy's fucking horrible, dude.
He's not good at fighting. No.
Looked better, still terrible.
Yep, totally agree.
He's a D- fighter. We understand. Moving up to the main card, Kenny Nunchucks. Is that his first UFC win?
That is.
My boy. I told y'all, man.
You know what the scary part is? I live bet this. Might be my best live bet ever. I bet after the first round before the point deductions.
Yeah, before how many dick kicks?
But 2 deductions. I mean, you can't even lose a fight that way. Wow, and he still lost, and he actually lost the fight on one card. It was just that the 2-point deductions gave him the fight, which is scary.
He didn't. They fucking added him up wrong. Yeah,
Math.
He didn't lose. The dumbass judges added their fucking totals up wrong. He won the fight. He was gonna win the fight regardless. Yeah, they tweeted that out. Yeah,
well, it was two 29-26s and then a 28-27. I think Jay is just saying if he doesn't get those 2-point deductions, he
loses 2 rounds.
Well, it would have been a split decision. He still would have won, but it would have been a split decision.
Yeah, he won.
Split. Right.
Yeah,
right.
He won that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he still doesn't have power, like Jay said.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of shit well, man. But I mean, fucking Darko might be the dumbest motherfucker that's ever walked into the cage, man.
I don't know. I'm not sure that's really. I don't know. I think one thing Nunchucks does well is he's extremely long for the weight class, and he pressures fighters. So when they tire out, he's pretty effective because he does the Colby Covington, who we'll talk about later, and just continues to put hands near you and doesn't give you time to breathe, but he has zero power, and that's a real issue in this weight class, Wes. It really is.
He's decent, but when you land like he does and you can't hurt guys, like that's a bad thing.
He can't even get a sniff of a knockdown.
No, yeah, he that's not good at this weight class.
There's a better chances of his opponent blowing his nose mid-fight and falling to the canvas from that because there's more power in that sneeze than Nunchuck's hand.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, he's not going to do well in this organization because he has no power. If he had even Corey Anderson level power, or if he had Latifi power, okay, we could talk.
Why? Yeah, I mean, if he had Latifi power, we might be talking top 10. You know what I'm saying?
There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But he doesn't. So let's move on.
Yeah.
This fight was fun.
Well, it lasted. Yep.
Dong Young Ma, he got a nasty eye. He couldn't see out of shit. Hot Sauce. I mean, he doesn't throw fast, but you can kind of see how he sets up his punches. I mean, it's kind of fun to watch. Hot Sauce
still got clipped by a freaking one-eyed dong.
Yeah, he did. One-eyed dong. I mean, isn't every dong got one eye?
Yeah, but not all of them can drop. Yeah.
Yeah, Holtzman.
Well, speak for yourself.
I know some one-eyed dongs that could put you to sleep. That's for
fair.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Holtzman is fun, man. That guy's he's improved the past couple years, but man, he still gets in these spots to where he's doing really good, and then he'll get a little wild, just little bitty fucking slivers of time to where for some reason he'll want to throw, and he'll get to brawling for just a couple seconds, and motherfucker gets caught. Like you said, Lil Dong caught him a couple times in that fight. Hell, there was once I think he got pretty rocked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At one point, Holtzman looked pretty damn rocked, but yeah, I like Holtzman, man. He's fun. That dude puts on a fight, man. I'll watch Holtzman fight anytime, man. That was a good fight.
Same with Dong. I'll watch that guy get beat up or do some beating up.
And another very frustrating fight. This fight was just stupid. This guy, Trevin Giles, should be way better than he is.
He should be.
Terrible game plan. Fought right into Meerkat's strengths, and he got submitted. And then we got Herb, who doesn't know how to stop a fight again. Can we talk about this for a minute?
Just in poor position. I mean,
no.
There's been a bunch here lately. It's kind of accumulating on old Herb. It's not a good look, but yeah, he was just in poor position because Giles tapped before. Way before. I mean, at least Herb didn't fuck up like he did against Robbie and Askren, so he double checked. It is what it is, but still, you got to be in better position when guys are going for chokes,
right?
Especially when you got
Yeah,
a guy
his-
like Mearshart, where that is something that he goes for. So be ready when that gets locked on. Yeah, Herb's
Yeah,
not good.
your job is to be in those positions to see the taps and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's a great point. You know what Mershad his game is and what he's trying to do, but man, Giles just fuck, man. I was in on him pretty good. I knew I was in trouble when the buy order came in.
That's right.
But fuck, man, I still like. It's bad when you got a fight circled for a couple weeks, man, and you get a fucking line that you want and everything, and then that motherfucker comes in and just completely mushes it. He looked good, man. I thought he looked really good through a couple rounds, and yeah, the Greek curse fucking came in on him.
Gotcha.
Like Jay said, that guy should be even outside all that guy should be way better than he is, man. He's gonna be one of those dudes that's just an absolute bust because he should be so much better than what he's showing.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot. He's athletic. It seems like he has skill, but when it comes to the actual fights, he just doesn't seem to have the edges in stand up and everything else that we think he should have.
Herb is a herb. I'm gonna leave it there. Anyway, call me a believer. Nasrat Hakparast
Yeah.
just flat
Yeah.
out KOs this dude. This was impressive. I don't know. There's no two ways about it. I like Joaquim Silva. I even put a live bet in on Joaquim Silva in the first round. Not a good bet.
I bet him.
Hakparast looked good. There's something here. Little gas to him.
Yeah, that's exactly what he is.
Yeah. I mean,
got those hands.
I bet Silva pre-fight it. I just thought the number was kind of bad, and I mean, he didn't look horrible or anything, but I wasn't completely sold on Nasrat coming into this fight. I'm sold now. That dude's a problem, man. That guy is really good. It's you don't see a lot of dudes that can fucking wrestle and stuff like him either from that part of the world. So. With that power, those hands, yeah, I mean, I think the little Gastelum comparison's actually very good as far as fight style and just fucking looking like his little twin. So yeah, I'm intrigued, man. That guy's good. He needs to step up for sure.
Let him fight James Vick.
Ooh.
No,
Vic's going to welterweight, bruh.
Oh,
Get knocked out at welterweight.
that's fine. Dude, let him fight Cowboy.
I had Hakparast in a parlay. It was a good first round for Silva. I think Hakparast was just kind of trying to figure him out, figure the range. Wasn't doing too much until the end of the round, and then that power is a big deal at lightweight. You don't see too many guys that can just flatline guys with one shot, and that's pretty much what he did there. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, it was. It's a good win. We respect it. Anyway, let's move on.
I got this fight wrong. Holy shit.
This shit here was one of the best 1 minutes of fighting that you'll ever
Yes,
fucking
I
see.
think it might have been the best best 1 minute fight
Yep.
we've seen all year. I think that's a way to put it. Jimmy Miller and Clay Guida. It basically went like this. It went about 15 seconds to nothing. Clay Guida lands a shot. Jim Miller's hurt. Jim Miller stumbles back in the same sequence, lunges forward, drops Guida, or doesn't drop it, just kind of folds backwards. Miller guillotine. Herb, again, no idea what to do. Like Guida's just flat out cold.
Lights out.
Jim Miller's trying to open his legs up, get the blood going.
Yeah.
58 seconds. of glory.
Nobody's stopping him.
Jimmy Miller, I think, is now top 5 all time in wins in the history of the UFC.
Jesus.
What a legend.
Yeah, he
has more wins than Frankie Edgar.
He is. There's no other way to describe it. Like Jim Miller is legendary status, man. Just the numbers, the time, the fights, the rounds. I mean, just it's pretty incredible, man. That a guy that I don't think anybody thought was like some great fighter, but literally worked his fucking ass off, man. To be a fairly decent high level fighter. Yeah, it's wild that he's like better than he was a couple years ago. I guess the fucking whole Lyme disease thing was legit. You know what I'm saying?
He's a totally different fighter.
I mean, he still got rocked by Clay Guida.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, West's been fighting forever though.
Yeah.
Times in this fucking.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's at the end of his career, no doubt. But I mean, I don't think we thought he would have even this kind of sliver of success the past year or two that he's had, if it wasn't for fixing the obvious health problems that he had. It definitely changed some things. And Jim Miller's a legend in this sport, man. It's actually pretty incredible the things that a guy of his I don't want to downplay his skills too much. I don't want to talk bad about him, but for a guy that is at the skill level that he is to accomplish the things that he has at the highest level of this sport is very fucking impressive. And Jim Miller's an absolute legend.
Yeah, I had this fight to go to decision. I also late added Jim Miller by decision at like plus 300, and that shit was gone with the quickness. I expected it to be a little bit slower match, but yeah, both guys getting rocked in the first minute, and the finish it was nice and quick and over, and I got to move on from my shitty bets. So good win for Jim Miller in his home state. You got to feel for the guy, especially after just losing 4 straight. They were against good guys, so I mean that's not the worst thing, and then just have the health problems. So good to see him come back and have a decent resurgence to his career late in his age.
Yeah, it's fine. We like him. Main event.
No surprise here.
We know Wes is not happy about.
Hey, I made some good money, so
doesn't mean you're happy about it.
Nah,
fair.
This was impressive, I gotta say. I know West isn't as impressed as I am, but Covington threw over 500 strikes in this fight and really didn't stop. I mean, until maybe the 23rd minute, he kind of slowed down a little bit, but I mean, he never gave Robbie a chance to breathe, and that was the difference in this fight. It really was. Some takedowns early. Got kind of made it a little difficult for Lawler, and then after that, just a constant barrage of strikes. Don't need volume if you throw that many, or you don't need power rather if you throw that many. I feel there's some truth to that. Really impressive. Robbie got blown out. I mean, we've been talking about this fight, West, for what, 3 years now? That at some point, Covington and Usman are going to have to fight. It's the fight we've been asking for it seems like at least 3 years. And we'll talk about that a lot when it happens. So, Wes, we'll start with you.
Yeah. Me and you've, I think all of us on the show are pretty much, we was talking about those two guys being gonna be the future in the top of the 170 division, and I think we're here. Obviously, where to start with Colby. Look, I'm impressed. I'm not one of those morons that take my personal feelings into my fight kind of breakdowns. I don't do it with Greg Hardy. I don't do it with Colby Covington.
Well, there's a difference from Hardy. You have a harder thing for Covington.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you do.
Look,
they're both pieces of shit. Let's be serious.
Different.
Well, I mean,
Covington hasn't committed a crime yet.
There's differences. I'll give you that. Covington is playing a role. I think it's pretty shitty to try to make a profit off that role, but he didn't beat up no women or nothing. Yeah, there's absolutely a difference in Colby.
There's no crime.
My main point is like you still have personal feelings that I don't put in that, and I've always said that Colby Covington is fucking great. That guy is a great fighter. And in this fight, I mean, his cardio and volume is insane. Like, it really is. It's going to win against 99.9% of this division. Like, straight up, he can beat 99.9% of this division with that cardio and pace, period. That's all he needs. On the flip side of that, though, like to hit somebody with 500 punches and never even stun them once.
No, he didn't hit him. He threw 500. He only landed 179.
Well, it's
still a lot of punches.
To throw and land that many strikes at 170 pounds and not even daze a guy once, a guy that's been in brawls for. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna jump. He didn't try to hurt him though. I mean, he didn't try to knock him out. Let's be honest. He didn't. That wasn't the game plan. The game plan was just to wear him down.
Well, when you throw volume like that, your plan is never to one punch knock out a guy. Your plan is to fucking kill him by 160 something strikes. You know,
and by 1,000 paper cuts. I got it.
And a guy like Robbie Lawler that's been in all these brawls for 19 fucking years, getting hit 160 something times, you should have stunned him at least once. Now, I mean, that's not a totally negative thing. Like I just said, his volume and his cardio is legit insane.
World class.
Right. Yeah, it might be as good as we've ever seen. I mean, like straight up. Look, Robbie didn't even come to fight. Like straight up. Like Robbie was doing stuff in this fight, and it was partly Colby. It was partly the pace. It was partly the strikes coming in. But Robbie didn't even like throw bangers off of the cage and shit like he usually does when guys are on him. Like he didn't even fight. Whatever you want to look into that, this was a fight of the least resistance that Colby Covington has been in. Still an incredible performance, man. He looked good. He's the second best welterweight in the world. Usman is better than him. Usman is going to beat him. Usman does all the things that Colby does. He does them better, and he hits with power. Colby's got a little better gas tank, but there's a caveat to that. Colby has had this great gas tank being the fucking hammer. Colby has never been the fucking nail. And what is that? What happens to that gas tank when you got the other guy pushing on you, the other guy grappling with you, the other guy reversing you on the cage and grappling with you? We don't know. We don't know how Colby's gas tank is going to hold up in those situations. We know how Usman's gas tank held up going 5 rounds with Tyron Woodley. You know what I'm saying? We know how Usman's gas tank holds up.
To be fair, Woodley didn't do jack shit in that fight either.
Yeah, but he had to grapple with Woodley on the ground and shit. That's my point. You're right. He didn't do shit, but Usman did have to get in grappling exchanges with him and hold him on the mat and shit. That's way more than what Colby even did in this fight. Colby literally got to go at his pace, do whatever he wanted. No resistance whatsoever. No grappling and exchanges, nothing. It's a close fight. And I think it's going to be a very intriguing fight. I know some people think it's going to be really boring and stuff. I'm not so sure about that. I don't think the animosity that these guys are going to have and stuff is not going to make for a pretty good and entertaining fight. But I stand by it, and I've said it for 3 years. Usman is the champ. Usman is the best guy in this division. Usman is better than Colby Covington. People might not like that. They might not agree. But you're going to see it. That guy does everything Colby does, but he does it a little bit better, and he does it with power. And not to mention that he's going to be the bigger, stronger guy. Like Colby is going to be fucking way smaller than Usman. But like Jay said, it's a great, intriguing fight. I hope it gets there. I mean, things happen in this sport, you know, especially at 170. We've seen a lot of fucking funny shit happening with guys defending belts at once. I mean, Colby's still walking around with an old championship belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit happens in the 170 division. But props to Colby, man. That was a great performance. That's the best performance he's ever put on. And then lastly, I mean, I gotta say, man, y'all have to chill out with saying this guy's a star. Just chill the fuck out, man. Like seriously, the dude's not a star. I know, like the people were on Twitter like, oh well, the Trumps are there. He's gonna bring in the quote unquote MAGA crowd, and like that is the core UFC audience. All of those guys watch MMA as it is. Like you don't think fucking white redneck motherfucker in the South ain't already watching fucking MMA? Yes, they are the core fucking audience. His numbers.
When you say they, you mean we, right?
I mean, I don't have no red hat on, but I mean, just the guy's not going to be a star. Put it like his fighting style will never let him become a star.
That's the problem.
you can be whatever kind of shitty motherfucker you want to be, but if you're in there fucking pulling Anderson Silva off on motherfuckers and you're knocking people out in the first, second round and you're pulling off highlight reel stuff, I don't care how much people hate you, they're going to tune in to watch that shit. Colby doesn't do that. His fighting style does not translate into a star. His numbers don't translate into a star, and he's not bringing in some big, huge demographic to where it's going to boost up these numbers. We saw it. The numbers came out. He's one of the lowest rated ESPN Plus cards that they've had. Now, granted, there is some things in that to lead up to the other fights and shit like that, but still, his numbers are fucking half of what they've done on these other cards so far. He's not a star. Period.
Yeah, and I mean that's why he initially went to this fucking gimmick, because he was so boring. He was never gonna get the big fights. He was never gonna get the money. So he's like, well, fuck it. My fighting style is not gonna do it. I might as well pull this shit out and see if I can get it that way. It seems it's kind of worked, but as we've seen, it's not it's not really coming through with the numbers. As for this fight, it was frustrating to watch, as a guy that wanted to see Robbie Lawler flatline this guy. I obviously Covington was all over him right at the start. I thought there was a spot right at the end of round one for about 30 seconds where Robbie really needed to pull the trigger and put some fear into Colby, and he just didn't do it. And after that, it was just a landslide, and then he really did nothing until 30 seconds left in round 5. So pretty frustrating to watch. It's going to be an interesting matchup with Usman. They're very similar, but they are different the kind of way they win fights. Colby just takes guys down and just rides them just to grind them out and stuff like that. Most of his strikes are landing on the feet. They're soft as pillows. I mean, even the Diaz bros, with the way that they throw punches, think that Colby hits like a pussy. So it's not a good sign when that's the case. But
their shit adds up though. Like his shit doesn't even add up.
Yeah, there's not much there. I think it's more the pressure that tires out the guys that he's fighting more than the strikes. But and Usman, he's more of a ground and pound guy. He takes guys down and smashes them. So it'll be interesting if Usman can get Covington down, then it's going to be an interesting story. If he can't, then it's going to be a stand-up fight, and Colby's the one who actually succeeds a lot more in that realm so far anyway. And one other thing we haven't really seen is Usman's takedown defense. There hasn't actually been high-level guys trying to take him down. I suspect it's going to be very elite. He has 100% takedown defense, but it's just the guys who have tried to take him down are few and far between and are not even close to as good as Colby. So it'll be a fun matchup. I'm sure it's gonna bring out the worst in Colby and in the worst in MMA, but hopefully nothing crazy happens and we actually get to see the fight, because these are the two best welterweights in the world.
That was a good point about Colby, though, that, talking about that just a little bit more, like Dan Lambert at ATT did an interview just a couple of days ago talking about, they were literally talking about cutting Colby, and that the very next fight was against RDA, and after that RDA fight, that's when he went full xenophobic racist and started calling Brazilians animals and shit, and got into it with Verdum and stuff, and went the whole MAGA route. And Lambert's even talking about some of his family and friends and shit won't even talk to him anymore over the shit. Like, I don't know. I get it. It's his career. He could choose to kind of try to.
We're gonna have to wait and see if it was worth it.
We'll see. I don't know if it's ever gonna. I mean, who knows, man? If they were on the verge of cutting him and shit, more power to him. Do what you gotta do to stay around. But whatever, we'll see. Intriguing fight. I hope it happens.
Yeah. Let's talk about hammer and nail. I think both guys have been the hammer in every fight they've ever had in the UFC. So it'll be interesting to see how each will respond to any sort of adversity. Because quite frankly, neither have really seen any.
They're the best though, man. They are the top of the food chain in that division now. And like you said, Jay, we've talked about that for a few years now. Both of those dudes are absolutely legit. I don't care how you feel about Colby. That fucking guy's a great fighter.
Wow. I wasn't expecting to hear that tonight, but here
He
we are.
He is, man. He's a great fighter. I can give props where it's due. He's a really fucking good fighter.
In unrelated news, we have a title fight this weekend.
What? Do we?
Yeah.
There's actually 4 straight cards with a title fight coming in the UFC. Who would have thought?
And then we get, what is it, Gagey and
Cowboy.
Gagey Cowboy's right in there too. So
Wild.
Yeah, some good stuff. Yeah.
Very good stuff. But we'll talk about that. They're going to Uruguay. That should be interesting, I guess. It'll be
Home
something.
of one of the best footballers on the planet.
Yeah, the biter.
The biter.
My boy, my fucking boy.
Suarezinho, yeah. Yeah. So I'm not going to talk about some of these fights because I don't want to, or I don't really care to. I don't think these guys do either. The first one of those is something called Veronica Macedo, who's fought in the UFC, against Polyana Viana, who's also fought in the UFC. I'm just going to start a new Sean. I'll keep it to 5 seconds. Are you betting the over here?
I did not.
I said 5 seconds.
Tempted to bet Viana. The line movement has been pretty crazy. Viana was minus 230 at one point, and now she's plus 110.
You are not betting a side in a women's prelim fight. I will not allow it.
I might be later on this card.
I will not allow it. I will not allow it. Yeah. I'll say this. Macedo's lost 3 fights in a row. That's not a good sign. Not a good sign.
Sean's right. That line is just going the wrong way.
What is the line right now?
It's plus 110 for Viana.
Yeah, she went to.
Wow.
She was
minus She was minus 230 at one point.
I mean, neither are great at fighting, but anyway, let's
Bowers?
Let's talk about a real fight. This fight shouldn't be at this part of the card. I think this should be on the main card. Should be on the main card. Gilbert Burns, arguably top 5 jiu-jitsu practitioner in MMA today, if not that, then definitely in the UFC, taking on Alexei Kunchenko, undefeated. Wes, thoughts here?
Yeah, this is probably the second best fight on the card. Like they did with the Pantoja fight a couple weeks ago. Who fucking knows what they're doing anymore?
They want people to tune in early so you don't just skip half the fucking card.
Yeah. This fight got added late. I think Kunchenko had a different opponent lined up, and he got hurt. So the whole thing with this fight for me is Gilbert Burns is going up to 170 here, and I think that's just going to be a really, really bad problem against Kunchenko, man. Kunchenko is a world-class level wrestler. He's going to keep this on the feet, and I think he can kind of box his way to a decision against Gilbert Burns. If this, I just think the size is going to be too much here, man. Kickboxing match. I like Kunchenko. I think the line is moving down a little. I expect some Burns money to come in the next couple days just by name alone. I don't think a lot of people, usually they don't realize it, but I don't think a lot of people are going to realize that Burns is moving up in weight for this fight, and it's a big jump. Kunchenko is a really big 170er to begin with. So, yeah, I like Kunchenko. I'm probably going to hold off on betting him yet because I think the line will probably get a tiny bit better.
Now, Sean, did you hear what Mike Perry said about Colby Covington?
No, I did not. Would you like to fill
me
in?
Yes, he said if I hit someone with 600 strikes, it might be the first death in the octagon.
That's fair. If Mike Perry actually hit 600 somebody 600 times, they would die. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah,
Mike Perry coming for the mega guy. That's platinum. Who would have thunk it?
Platinum. All right, give us your thoughts there.
Yeah, I think Wes nailed it here. Burns going up in waist. Kuchenko is a really good wrestler. I think he's going to be able to stuff whatever Burns has. So this is going to turn into a striking fight, and I give a pretty sizable edge to Kuchenko. I know he hasn't looked great in his 2 UFC fights. He looked okay against the Thiago Alves. Looked pretty good against Okami. He's not finishing these guys. So I think people are kind of downplaying him. I know he's a bit older and a bit more of an unknown, and I think that's why the line is where it's at. I think it's really, really low. I got Kuchenko at -125. I got 2 units on that. I think he's going to win a fairly decisive decision.
I think though Kuchenko like not looking great kind of in those fights is more. He's a very, very smart fighter, man. That dude does what he needs.
He doesn't take crazy risks. He's there to win fights, and it's not like he has a bunch of finishes on his record. It's not like he's a decision machine, but he's a guy who fights very, very smart. I don't think he's going to get drawn into a wild brawl that Burns is going to want to do, and he's just going to just piece him up and jab his way to a good win.
Yeah, he was a fucking killer in M1. I mean, right before he got to the UFC. I think he's just like 37, 38 now, knows this is his last big run. He's going to win these fights over trying to look spectacular and shit.
Yep. And I mean, he's undefeated, so I get it. He wants to keep that 0 on his record, so it's fair.
It is fair. All right. Okay. I got where am I? Oh yeah, I got Burns C- at welterweight, and I got Kuchenko a C+. This really comes down to I don't see this fight going to the ground. I don't think Burns can win a striking matchup with Kuchenko. I really don't see it at all. Kuchenko's bigger, hits harder, more technical on the feet, better offensive game plan, more variety. There's a lot of reasons to like Kuchenko here. On the ground, I guess it would be a mismatch. We haven't really seen much from Kuchenko there. Hasn't need to because he seems really difficult to take to the mat. Kuchenko wins. I'll be betting it, and that will make him our MMA Analysis consensus bet of the week. I think we like this one quite a bit. Alexei Kuchenko, money line. Nushan price
-140.
-140.
I think it gets better.
Now there's something called Rodrigo Vargas taking on something even I'd never heard of, Alex da Silva Coelho. I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know why you would be laying 3-1 on some dude named Alex da Silva. Next.
He lost to the fucking
Yakovlev.
rapper Yakovlev.
The mighty Yakovlev.
Yeah. This is a dumpster fire of a fight, and
the other dude is Mexican, right? So like,
Next
indeed. Okay, we got Geraldo de Freitas taking on Chris Gutierrez. That Chris Gutierrez?
I think
that
so.
Geraldo?
Oh wow, Geraldo.
Oh,
Geraldo.
Nah, you don't have a mustache. Fucking
That's
freak.
a shame.
Live the gimmick, bro.
Let it be.
Wes, you got anything in this one?
No.
I like De Freitas a lot better when he was like minus or he was plus like 120, something like that, and then he got hammered hard, and now he's -140. So I'm staying away now. I think he's got a lot better striking differential, but these are fucking two unknowns, and who knows what can happen with these lower level guys.
Yeah, he didn't look bad in his last fight, but
Claris.
I can't. Yeah, you don't want to lay fucking juice on this fucking fight.
Nope.
No gin and juice on him. Yep, that'd be bad. Let's move on. We got Rogerio Bontorin taking on Rulian Paiva. Again, I don't know if anyone cares.
Paiva actually looked pretty good, and he beat fucking Kakar. Yeah, he beat him in that fight, and he looked pretty good in that fight.
Yeah, he got robbed. I remember.
Yeah, he got fucking completely robbed. I don't know enough about this other cat right now, but I might take a little sprinkle on Pavey. He looked pretty decent to me. I'm gonna try to find just maybe some couple highlights on this other guy and his look at his last. I think he's got a UFC fight. So
yeah, he beat Bibulatov. Remember when Bibulatov was all hyped up and then he came into the
Yeah, this actually should be a pretty decent scrap, man. Yeah, I might look at that a little bit. I kind of liked Pavia before that, but yeah, I forgot about that Bibulatov fight. Yeah, this should actually be a pretty decent scrap. A couple no-name guys, so yeah,
that's true. All right, let's move up further. We got Tisha Torres taking on Marina Rodriguez. Guess this will be okay. It'll be good. It'll be good on the eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I think we saw it not long ago. I can't remember the exact fight. But man, you talk about just an absolute class drop in competition here. I know Rodriguez is undefeated, but this is going to be probably maybe the worst chick that Torres has fought in a few years. Not saying that she's gonna roll here or anything, but this is a massive drop in class for Torres. I like betting Tisha Torres when she's a slight underdog. I can't bet Tisha Torres when she's minus 165.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Nushan.
I actually sprinkled on Rodriguez at plus 140. I put a unit on it.
He's taking sides all over the place on these women's fights.
I'm trying to find out if Tisha Torres is shot. I know she has lost to really good people the last 3 times, so she might not be gone. It's just I haven't liked what I've seen in there. Rodriguez didn't look special against Marcos, but she looked good against Aguilar. I think she can stuff the takedowns, and she's going to be the longer fighter. She's got a 5-inch reach advantage, 5-inch height advantage. I think she might be able to jab her way to a close decision.
Okay. We tend to agree with Nushan. I've been a Torres fan for a long time, but I'm kind of of the same belief that she might be a bit washed. Kind of got other things going on in her life, just doesn't care as much anymore. And this girl, I think, has some talent, and we'll kind of see what happens. But it's not a bet for me. I can't. I'm gonna put it out there. I can't. All right. I will not bet on that. Yep. We got someone called Rafael Pessoa. Is that like a cousin of like Bigfoot?
Oh shit.
Pessoa. Nunez taking on some very French, very Nagano-like training partner, like giant heavyweight. Cyril Gane. This guy's being hyped up pretty significantly. Is certainly one of the more hyped newcomers, Wes, in the UFC, and probably this year. You would agree, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're training with
the Hog.
Arguably the baddest dude on the planet. You're gonna have
biggest hog on the planet.
That's a given there. I mean, you saw the Mighty Mouse pic. It looked like he had Mighty Mouse in the crotch of his pants. He should knock this guy out. But man, you lay 4-1 on a heavyweight with 3 fights in a heavyweight fight in an MMA in the cage at your own risk, man. I don't care how hyped this guy is. There's no way I'd ever lay minus 400 on a guy with 3 fights in a heavyweight fight. So I think he gets the job done, but I don't want no part of that with my money.
The Hog, Wes makes a good point. All right, Nushan.
Yeah, heavyweight's sketchy enough as it is, and then you got a guy that's only fought 3 times in MMA. I think he's fought some other style of fights. But yeah, I don't know enough about him. This is heavyweights. It's as simple as somebody tapping you on the chin and you can go out. So I'm not touching minus 400 on this guy. I hope he comes in and flatlines this guy. Maybe it would be good for the heavyweight division. Another successful maybe hog in the making, but I'll wait and see.
Yeah, it ain't not like this other guy doesn't have like some fucking knockouts on his.
Yeah, he's undefeated too. He's 9-0. I mean,
yeah.
Like I don't know, like he hasn't fought amazing guys, I don't think, but he's got a bunch of KO wins, and I mean he fought on LFA last time, knocked a guy out in the first round, so it's an interesting fight. I wouldn't touch the dog in this either way.
Okay. Yeah, I mean Wes really made a good point. Is that it doesn't matter how hyped the prospect is. It's hard to play a juiced heavyweight at that level, no matter what the hype train is. You're always going to pay over for a hype. I mean, that was the way with Hardy in the first few fights. Then we got Hardy at a really good price because people were trying to fade him after the nonsense loss, and it's okay. It's fine.
We appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do. But this guy really should win. They want him to win. There's a lot of reasons they want him to win. He's 6'5" with an 83-inch reach, and he's 244 pounds. I mean, he's basically like he's as big as they get. So that's the game we're in. I'm excited to see what he's got. Let's move up to the main card. This fight should be pretty competitive between Enrique Barzola and something called Bobby Moffett. I shouldn't call him a something. He's a real fighter. Yeah.
Hey, and then he's fucking got a belly full of fucking chicken parm, baby. Don't forget that.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, this should be a pretty pretty fun fight. Man, I don't really have too much of an opinion on this fight yet. Barzola looked, pretty competitive against Kevin Aguilar last time out. He did lose that fight, but I mean, he's got to win over Matt Bissett. Brandon Davis win, but competitive against Aguilar last time out. Bobby Moffett lost to Bryce Mitchell, the dude that tore up his nutsack or whatever. One of my cousins. That kid's actually pretty good, man. That kid's fairly skilled, but I mean, Moffett beat Chaz Skelly and stuff. That was a pretty good choke he got on Skelly. So this is a fairly evenly matched fight, man, and it could go 100 different ways. So pick's going to be Moffett because he's the dog here, but I'm not touching this with my money.
There's Sean.
Yeah, I bet old Bobby Moffett in the last fight. I thought he would do a little bit better than he did. I guess I just underestimated Bryce Mitchell with who knew you would just get a lot better after just tearing up your nutsack. But I think this is going to be an interesting fight because both these guys get a lot of takedowns. I think if Barzola can stuff Moffett's takedowns, I think he should do a lot better on the feet. But Moffett does crazy shit on the ground. He kind of he's very good. He can sweep and get just weird takedowns. So this is a stay away fight for me. I'll pick Barzola to win a close decision, but yeah, I can't bet it when it's this tight of a line.
This is a really competitive fight and arguably the most competitive fight on the card. Really hard to pick between the two of them. I think Moffett's fought a little better competition. I think Barzola probably is the better offensive wrestler. But I think Moffett may have more offensive tools. Barzola, I've just never really been impressed with his striking. He has some technique, but he can't hurt anybody. Moffett definitely more dangerous in that regard. So I think he can impress the judges a little bit more just by having a little more flash. So I'll take him to win, but very competitive fight, hard to pick apart. Let's move on to the debut of Rodolfo Vieira taking on Oscar Pichode.
The Pichode?
The Pichode.
Pichodes.
Yeah, this is intriguing because of one guy to me, and that's Vieira. We talked a little before the show. Vieira is just an absolutely sick BJJ guy that's transitioned over fairly well. He's fought over at ABC and stuff like that, and just he's choking dudes dead, and he's choking some dudes dead that aren't horrible, especially his last win. Man, I think Oscar's in trouble here. If this hits the ground, he's fucked immediately. I mean, he's absolutely fucked, and this is going to hit the mat. Vieira can get guys down to the mat. His wrestling is decent enough to go with just he might arguably have current day some of the top 5 best BJJ guys in the sport now, and that's just purely speaking on current day credentials. This dude's legit, man. I got as much as I could down on Vieira inside the distance at minus 145 a few days ago when the props opened up. That's gone up a little bit. I think he gets this done by sub, and it's sitting at minus 140 right now. I think that's the play now here. He's going to sub out Oscar, and it's going to be quick.
New Sean, you're going to be watching some esports.
I'm not gonna be watching these sports, but I'll fade the goat fade on Twitter, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
As for this fight, Wes kind of nailed it here. Vieira is elite jiu-jitsu, and he's just not a typical jiu-jitsu guy that doesn't have takedowns and needs to like pull guard and then sweep and stuff like that. This guy's a bull. He will run you over and get on top of you. So this is he's gonna get Pai Chodes down and sub him. So I'm looking at putting him possibly in an open parlay, or I might just lay it straight. I can get it at like minus 211 right now. I think I'll probably just go that way, just because inside the distance is like minus 175. Sub is minus 140. It's pretty close to what his money line is, so I'll probably go that route. But yeah, he should sub him and do it fairly quickly.
Okay. Oh shit! This motherfucker betting League of Legends.
For any of our followers, I got a free bet on League of Legends. You want to bet whoever is against whoever is facing Sandbox. Should be plus money. The goat fade is on the Sandbox, so you should go against them.
The overall fade. We got a somebody tweeted me there. They said Gianni's got to be Ben's biological father.
Wow.
I fucking lost it, dude.
Wow.
That's pretty good stuff. Whew.
Okay, what you got on this one, Jay?
I mean, it's hard to fade like that high level of grappling credentials. I don't know what he offers in the striking game, so I mean, you have to think there's going to be some striking to begin with, and it could be dangerous. I don't know. This is not a fight I want to bet. I mean, just to bet a debutant who's kind of a wizard at one of the skills that can help you succeed in MMA. I don't know. It's a dangerous bet, I think. Let's move up to arguably the second best fight on the card, maybe even the best fight on paper on the card. We got Volcano Man taking on friend of the MMA Analysis, the Horse Lord, Ilir Latifi. Wes, I know you're excited to see some Latifi.
Yeah, we're always excited to see Latifi. Gives me a chance to post the horse riding on the beach pick, which is always a good one. Man, I hate to do it, but I gotta go against my boy Latifi here, man. I know Shauna kind of speak on it. I know we don't know exactly, how good Volcan is at this point, but I did think he beat a pretty good guy last time, even though it was, hardly anything happened. I thought he did enough. He got robbed against Dominic Reyes, and people have already already crowned that dude, the next champ and every fucking thing else. But yeah, I just think Latifi's going to be at a fairly big size differential here, man, and I think Ozdemir will be able to do enough to maybe even get Latifi out of there late, man. Latifi's he gets hit quite a bit now, man. I know he hasn't been KO'd in a while. I know he took some big stuff against Corey Anderson. Man, when Oldsmobile when Oldsmobile, I'm high, dude. You got it. When he gets off, man, that dude hits with some fucking major power, man. So I think if he can get Latifi with some clean stuff, man, Latifi could get rocked, man. That guy gets rocked in fights now. So it's a close fight, man. I haven't bet it yet. I was hoping the line would come back down just a tiny bit. It's going up. If it keeps going up, it's going to end up being a pass for me, which is probably the best decision in this fight. But I think Volkan gets it done, man. And then like I said, Shauna talked about it, but we still don't know what this guy is, man. He's been supremely hyped, and seems like the skills are there. I thought we saw flashes of it against Dominic Reyes, but we still don't really know. Maybe after this fight we will.
Sean?
Cutlass Supreme.
I had Latifi last time this was scheduled at like plus 170. I thought that was a good number. It's not close to that right now, so for now it's a pass. Like Wes said, I still don't know what Ozdemir is. Like he got those super quick. He impressed against OSP, but OSP is a weird fighter. That was his UFC debut. Then he knocks out Serkinov and Manoa, just glass chins in one round, or in like the first minute of a fight, and then gets tossed in against Cormier. There's no shame in loss to Cormier. Looked decent against Smith, but then gassed out and got taken down and choked out. And then the Reyes fight, there wasn't a lot there. I just don't know what he is. It's tough for me to back that guy, because if he doesn't get that quick KO, does he have a lot left? That's not to say that Latifi doesn't have the same thing. Like Latifi gassed really bad in the Corey Anderson fight. I don't like that Latifi's kind of been pulling out of fights and getting injured a lot. Didn't look great against Anderson. I thought he would be able to get Anderson out of there. So it's kind of just a stay away. I give Ozdemir the edge. I think the odds are pretty right as far as I know. But like I said, I think there's still a lot of unknowns when it comes to Ozdemir. So I'll sit back and watch, and hopefully the Horse Lord will prevail once again.
All hail the Horse Lord. I got the Horse Lord a C+ and Ozdemir a B-. I honestly think Latifi has a pretty good ground game, but he's got to get it there. Ozdemir is going to be able to, I think, stuff the takedowns early. He's going to be way more active on the feet. This was 5 rounds. I think I'd favor Latifi, but over 3, I think there's enough here from Ozdemir, to be more active and to get the W. It's not my my widest play on the card, but I think Ozdemir should be, closer to minus 150 in this bout. That's really kind of where it is. About minus 150, minus 155. I think that's kind of a price it should be. So it's pretty close to where I have it, but we'll see where this goes. A couple more fights to talk about. Undefeated Luis Eduardo Garagori. I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure the dude Caposa knows who this is.
There's no fucking way. His last 2 fights literally against 2 guys that didn't even have a fight. You know what I'm saying?
You think Caposa's seen him fight before?
What'd you say?
You think Caposa's seen this dude fight before?
I don't know, man.
I've never heard him talk about the UDC. De Leon 4 fight card. Never saw any kind of. This shit was just a couple months ago, right? Yeah, like a few months ago. Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, like I haven't
taking
even heard
on
of
Humberto
Ben
Bendenhay.
And Humberto sucks,
Go
but he
along
should
with
win this fight. Humberto sucks, but he should win this fight.
Fine. New Sean.
No fucking clue.
Neither do I. Let's move on. This fight I'm the most excited about on the entire
Yes,
card.
sir.
There's a lot of reasons to be excited about it. We got, quality Black Zillion dude. Is Black Zillion even still around? I mean,
Isn't it Hard Knocks 365?
Yeah, it's Henry Hoof pretty much took most of them and moved a little bit further south.
is Usman still there?
Yeah, he's at
Yeah.
365.
Yeah, the dude that owned Black Zillions died, so they kind of like
Yeah, Robinson, right?
yeah.
What happened to him?
I think he had a heart attack.
Yeah, he wasn't very healthy.
He was a fat sack of shit. That's for sure.
We saw that. But yeah, Vicente Luque, good fighter, taking on kind of Mr. Colt following, Platinum Mike.
The 2%, baby.
Yeah, man loves his Jamaican, loves his reggaeton. You know how this game goes.
Oh shit.
Wes, would you be caught dead in a bar with him?
Man. No.
Would you rather be caught in a bar with him or Colby?
Ugh. Nah, I mean, probably Mike Perry. Honestly,
Are you sure about that?
I mean, you just got to get Mike Perry to not talk. Dude, don't say the N-word. Like, look, Mike, we're gonna hang out, dude. We're gonna drink beers and shit. Just don't say the N-word.
I know it's hard for you, but just please, not
I
tonight.
think when you go out with Platinum Mike, it's like he closes out bars. You got to think, right?
Mike Perry's
Shuts him
that
down.
dude. You never go out. If you got a friend like Mike Perry, you take that guy nowhere. Like literally, you're fighting.
I don't know, Wes. I think you take him everywhere.
Well, I mean, be prepared to scrap. Like
You're
anywhere
gonna laugh your ass off.
I guarantee before the end of the night though, you're fucking in a brawl. I guarantee
Well,
it.
you just walk away and let him do the work.
Hopefully.
I mean, him and his girl can go fight. You don't need to be involved in that shit.
Yeah, this is it's a good one, man. You're right. All the good and the bad. Mike Perry he's an interesting cat, man. Yeah, I think he does some pretty shitty stuff, but don't most of these guys at this point. Yeah, I mean, dude puts on just absolutely incredible, insane fights, man. I just think he's in a world of hurt here, man. Luque is fucking legit. Like, as fun as Perry is and exciting as he is and stuff, I mean, that dude's about as barroom brawler with a really good gas tank and chin as it gets. I mean, that's pretty much.
That's a granite chin was.
Yeah, he's got a really good chin. He's got some power, but that gas tank don't hold up, man. That dude gets tired in fights. He's outclassed here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess he could catch fucking Luque with something, but I mean, if Luque gets in trouble here, this goes to the mat. Luque is a legit black belt. Mike Perry is a fish on his back. Luque's boxing is fucking top of the food chain. Mike Perry likes to throw bungalows and haymakers. Luque's going to be coming down the pipe with fucking 3-4 punch combinations on him. I think he's going to piece Perry up. He's going to have to get Luque with something really big and get him early, or I think he's going to be in trouble, man. Luque is really, really good. We've talked about how good this guy is for a while now. I think this is the perfect fight for him, personally. I think this is a perfect matchup. This is a perfect matchup to highlight Luque's fucking skills, man. His hands should look beautiful against a guy winging haymakers at him. I mean, his foot movement, his head movement, the guy's he's almost a total package, man. I'm a huge Luque fan. I was a little worried going into the Krantz fight, coming off that Barberina fight, just because of the damage he did taking that fight. But man, he came through that with flying fucking colors and just looked absolutely amazing again. So I think Perry's in a world of hurt here, man. I think it's going to be an exciting fight for a round or so, but Luque's just his high level of boxing and striking is going to take over in the second and third round if it makes it that far. And I think he's a little low in this fight, man. I think minus 220, minus 230 on Luque here is an absolute steal. And I will have a pretty big grip of money on Vicente Luque Saturday night.
New Sean.
Yeah, this number is low, and I kind of get sort of why it is. I mean, that Barberena fight is kind of still in everybody's mind. I think he was on his way to losing that fight, but that was just a completely different matchup. I know Barberena's not this unbelievable guy, but in certain ways he's a tough fight. He's a southpaw, which takes guys a lot to get used to. That forward pressure he has and the volume that he has, it can give guys a lot of trouble. That is not the case here. Perry does throw a little bit, but nowhere close to what Barberena does, and he just doesn't have that forward pressure that's just going to tire you out. Luque should roll here. He's just the striking is just so much higher level. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage. And if he wants to, I think he can get to the ground and choke him out if it gets too crazy. So I think this is a 1-round fight for Perry. He's got to land something big early, and if not, then he's gonna be in trouble. And I could definitely see Luque finishing him late in the second or early third just by the accumulation. Luque has big power, as we've seen. So
yep.
I know that wasn't the greatest look against Barberena, but yeah, I just think this is a completely different matchup. I laid it minus 211 to win 2 units. Let's go.
Ooh, yeah, I think you make great points about Barberena compared to Perry and what gave Luque trouble. Perry doesn't he throws some big stuff, but he doesn't walk that guys down like that.
No, he doesn't cut the cage. He follows. He doesn't. Barberena
doesn't get the fucking the shine he deserves. That guy's a tough out, man, every single time. He's a hard guy to look good against. Now he did put it on Luque at times, but you're right, the southpaw that he brings to that fight. This is a different fight, man. And not to mention, Barberena does not stop. Perry slows down like he does every single time. His output slows down. The guy gets hit a ton, man. I think this is ugly for him.
And even Luque, even after taking that beating, he was still able to KO a guy that very, very few, if any, have been able to put out. So he's got big power even late, even after he's been rocked. So I think it's going to be Luque here.
I got Luque a B-, Mike Perry a C+. A lot of good points made. I will say that Luque is a slow starter. He's historically been a slow starter in his fights. I think Mike Perry has an absolute opportunity in the first 3 minutes to do some work and even potentially get a finish. That's where he's got an opportunity. The longer this fight goes, if it goes to the second round, I think this Luque is going to kind of just extend the lead, and it won't be close after that. But those first few minutes are dangerous. So to bet Luque here at a pretty juiced price, I think is dangerous. I think there's better odds on a live bet on Luque, even midway through the first or after the first round.
Khabib's cousin, Jay. About to fight.
Which one? I feel like he's got like 12.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How could I forget?
He's minus 2,000 at times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll turn it on.
He's fighting like.
Is it on ESPN Plus or a regular ESPN?
I think it's on Plus right now.
All right. Let me take a look.
No, it might be on ESPN too. Right? Plus, I don't know. I got it on Plus anyway. I'm watching on the PlayStation.
What is going on here? I don't know what I did here. Anyway. We got a title fight main event. Okay, we got Valentina Shevchenko taking on her second title fight in UFC history, Liz Carmouche. Is that her second or third UFC title? I don't even know at this point.
Carmouche is second.
Oh God, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 Hey, she almost beat Rousey. Come on, man.
Yeah.
A lot of neck beer going on PFL right now.
That's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure Shevchenko puts on something like we got a couple months ago, which was a hell of a fucking KO. That was awesome. Chick or dude, that was a great fucking KO. She's gonna run through Liz Carmouche. I don't think anybody's gonna be surprised when that happens. I got Shevchenko inside the distance here. She's gonna roll. Hopefully she doesn't take her foot off the gas, which she usually doesn't, but doesn't always finish. I think she finishes Carmouche. And I guess we start maybe talking about if she's ever gonna move up and maybe fight Nunez one day. There's not a lot of matchups to make, so maybe that happens.
She's been talking about maybe fighting Andrade.
Oh yeah.
That's the newest thing that's coming up.
Yeah, my bad.
Old girl.
Yeah, Andrade. Which,
I mean, I don't care. Andrade, Nunes, it's all good to me. I mean, there's nothing at flyweight.
Something. Yeah. There's like 5 chicks there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
this is gonna become worse than DJ's reign at flyweight in a hurry. I mean, it kind of is already there. Yeah, Shevchenko should just roll here. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything too crazy. She's minus 1,300 right now at dimes. So I have a hard time seeing Carmouche last 5 rounds, and then you add Shevchenko. Looks like she's adding some more to her game, even at her, like, just continuing to get better. So I was looking at fight doesn't go or Shevchenko inside, and then the buy orders came in and they said to take goes to the decision. So I got a unit on fight doesn't go to decision.
Yep.
I think Shevchenko can piece her up and possibly get a sub, later in the 3rd or 4th, or just kind of end up dropping her and pound her out. I just have a tough time seeing Carmouche lasting 5 rounds in there with a girl as good as Shevchenko. A hilarious thing that Carmouche came out and said. So these girls have fought before. Carmouche beat her. And Carmouche is like, yep, she hasn't changed since then. She hasn't really got any better. I'm like, come on, man. Like, that's the way you're gonna hype this fight, saying she hasn't got better. Like, come on.
When everybody can see it with their fucking own 2 eyes.
Are you fucking kidding me, Liz Carmouche? So
no, who hasn't gotten any better? It is the same exact fighter. It's Liz Carmouche. That's he's talking about some projecting shit going on. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Carmouche got this fight after beating Lucy Pudilova, who just lost to the shittier Shevchenko. So, this is going to be all Shevchenko, and hopefully she finishes her before the bell.
Okay, I have Shevchenko an A+, Carmouche a C+. Again, this all comes down. Carmouche, to have any success, needs to get this fight to the ground. Even if she does, maybe she could do it once. Shevchenko's proved she's extremely difficult to submit. I don't think she could do it more than once, and then after that, Shevchenko will obliterate her on the feet. Just way better, way more technical, way more ability to land. Valentina's going to win this fight. She's going to be motivated, fighting in South America, close to where she trains and where she basically takes up residence in Peru. This is a good chance for her. I think she gets the W here and does so again pretty convincingly, and she wants to show that she's the best female fighter in the world. That is not Amanda Nunes. I mean, I know she lost, but it's in quotations. Anyway, that just about does it for this week's show. We have another title fight next week. Oh, that's right. The heavyweight
but it's an
fight.
actually good card. That's this is going to be a nice little wake up after these last 3 cards.
Can we just talk about Yolo Romero's fighting Little Drunk?
That's going to be wild shit.
You talking about
just hope
no
that
pants,
happens.
baby. No
my
fucking
pants
fan.
are halfway off.
Yeah,
thinking
like
about that.
no failed drug test, you fucking pricks.
Yeah.
Fucking Nate back against Pettis, like man, a Sun South Sandhagen, like
I mean,
holy
if
fuck.
Nate wins, are they gonna do him versus Jorge Masvidal next? That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen.
I'd watch.
I'd watch that too.
Masvidal getting all upset. He's like, "Oh yeah, I want a title fight." I'm like, "All right, dude, get
Yeah,
back
good
in
luck
line."
with that.
Yeah, I mean, you have a couple wins, but let's not get crazy here.
If Diaz wins, they're gonna do the McGregor fight next.
Yeah, I think so too.
I can see that. Yeah.
That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen at the end of the year. You can almost fucking bet that if Nate wins.
We can do Jorge versus Tony too. That ain't happening. But I'll be a fucking banger.
I'm gonna have to fucking put some money on my fucking Smooth Criminal too, man. That's gonna be hard.
You're gonna take Brunson?
Hey, I took him last time. That motherfucker paid. Hell.
Yeah, I
He
know.
made
But
us-
Heinisch is decent. That's gonna be an interesting fight.
I'm not that sold.
Not
on
sold?
Heinisch, man. Yeah, I'm not that sold. I mean, he was losing to fucking Shoeface. I mean, he was losing that fight until Shoeface just completely fucking gassed. Yeah, I'm not sold on Heinisch.
That's a
This
pretty
shit-
good card. I'm looking at
That's
This
a
it.
good
shit's
card from top to bottom.
Can we just fade Jody Escobar because she is terrible.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can go ahead-
she's
you can go
definitely
and
got
cash
the
that.
pics of. She's got the little dick pics of Dana for sure.
Yep.
Or maybe Keith Jardine does.
Well, somebody does.
Man, they got close fucking Chiagos on the. Yeah, so speaking of
Sandhagen
clo-
and a Sunsow.
yeah, so speaking of close, apparently there's some little turmoil at the Chicken Parm Lab, man. A lot of guys are starting to.
Well, the one of the coaches left, and now a bunch of the fighters have been leaving. So yeah, it's,
Yep.
Wow, that might be end of the lab.
No, not the end of the lab, but
just
there's some
split.
Yeah,
somebody should make an order and make sure it gets delivered there. They might be run out of good food.
They're getting hangry.
Yeah,
Getting
good
angry.
Italian. You gotta get some good Italian over there. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to get good Italian in the desert.
You do not serve undercooked fucking chicken at the lab.
You don't serve undercooked chicken anywhere.
But yeah, that's
Terrible.
that's an interesting thing.
Yeah,
though, at a gym that's been on the rise the past few years. To have some turmoil. Yeah.
We agree. That is the end of our show. We'll be back. Next week is a huge card on paper. Pretty exciting bouts. And then after that, I think it's an off week, actually.
Yeah, we finally get a week off, and then we're going to China.
See Andrade, and Andrade is a minus 150 favorite against Weili Zhang. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
There's a Chinese fighter who's plus 130 to win a UFC title
Get
in
the fuck out of here.
2019.
Get out of here.
West, I never would have thought that was possible.
That is not China Goat. I'll tell you that now. That is not China Goat.
She's huge though.
Yeah, she's good too. No bullshit. She's actually pretty good, but she's gonna get stomped.
And then we got Kovalev.
Yeah,
fighting
we got
in Abu Dhabi.
Sean's boy.
Man, there might be some wild scenes going on in Abu Dhabi. I think he just doesn't know what he's in for there. The crowd, he's gonna have to deal with some other worldly shit.
Oh God, fucking Ali and fucking 7 terrorists sitting in the front row.
Jesus.
Too much.
That is not endorsed by the MMA Analysis. The West only.
7 fucking 9/11 fucking planners and Ali.
Sean, we're gonna have to edit this out.
It all stays. There's no filter here.
Hey, I mean, what did I say that's untrue?
Well, all right, let me see who's fighting on this Kovalev card before we go. Let's take a look.
You calling Khabib Hobalov now?
I don't know. It's Habib. Edson Barbosa, Paul Felder, Mac and Cheese is on that card. Tyson Moff versus Carlos Diego Ferreira. Ooh.
We got some good fights coming up for sure.
Yeah, about damn time. It's been a fucking mess lately.
Yeah, it has.
Calderwood versus Andrea Lee. Yeah, that's interesting.
Man, I hate that.
Adam Yandiev taking on a Dana disciple, that Hawaiian dude, Punalea Soriano. He's getting his debut. Interesting. Who's fighting on this China Goat card?
Man,
China go
Khabib's
fight
gonna do bad things and does.
Well,
things.
Jangling versus Elijah
Dushku.
Dushku.
Yeah,
That is
that's
gonna
a
be
good one.
dope.
We got Kenan Song. Derek Krantz is in the UFC. Jesus. Oh, Ismagulov, we like him. De La Rosa, Cara France. Okay. Oh, Mobsar's fighting. Ooh. Sukamtai. Okay.
Oh shit!
I can kind of get down with a little bit here. Okay.
You got some
Wait,
good stuff.
Mizuki Inoue's on the what? When did she sign with the What?
Yeah, that was like a week ago, I think.
I missed that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting.
Some China goats.
Not a bad card. Okay, we got some good stuff coming up. It looks like maybe we're finally turning a corner here.
We're picking up.
We're picking up. We're heading towards the tail end of the second half of the year. We got to get some good action going. So that does it. We'll be back next week. Big fight card. We'll see if we have a new champion. Not. Anyway.